and celebrate the end of a difficult year and all the hard work that we have all put in to make this year the success that it's been. We have a graduate program that continues to shine. We remain a top-ranked university in the history department, according to the U.S. News and World Report survey. And certainly the graduate school here at OSU regards us with great favor. Since last year at this time, we've added 20 doctors and 13 masters to our cumulative roster of distinguished graduate alumni, something that we all can be proud of. These kinds of achievements are the product of a lot of intellectual effort, creative thinking, hard work by the faculty, and especially by our graduate students who do most of the work to get themselves these degrees. So thank you. Thank you all for working so hard and bringing such distinction to our department. So before we move to the awards themselves, I'd like to take a moment to introduce several friends and benefactors of our department who've been very, very generous in their support of various scholarships and awards that we're going to be bestowing today. Awards that ease the burdens on our graduates and the undergraduate students. So as I call your names, please, I invite you to raise your hand so that we can recognize you with a round of applause at the end. There's Betty and Richard Smith, who are longtime supporters of the Henry N. Sims Award. There you are. Thank you. Ann Lynch, the widow of our late colleague and much missed colleague, Joe Lynch, who is the namesake of the Lynch Award. There's Clarence and Jane Cunningham, who support the Genevieve Brown Gist Scholarship here. Thank you. Doris Murdoch, a longtime friend of the department. Doris, are you here? Yeah, here. And finally, Mary and David Conant, who are mother and stepfather of the late Lieutenant Colonel Sean Judge, who received his doctorate here, whose tragic death we all deeply regret, and who is the namesake of the Judge Memorial Scholarship. So, here. I'd also like to acknowledge 4 colleagues who were selected by the Bradley Foundation this year as administrators of grants to our graduate students. The foundation contributed $100,000 for distribution to our students in military history, very broadly defined, and those awards we'll announce later this afternoon. But those who have brought home the bacon, please join me in recognizing Joe Gilmartin, who I believe is not here, Pete Mansour is here, Jeffrey Parker, and Jennifer Siegel. Please join me in a round of applause. We've also very deeply benefited from the excellent leadership of Professor Jane Hathaway, who has shepherded our graduate program as Director of Graduate Studies these past years. Jane has been ably assisted by the indispensable Jim Bach. So please join me in a round of applause acknowledging their service on behalf of all of you graduate students at our program. Okay, our Awards and Prizes Committee, ably chaired by Professor Stephanie Smith, has worked very hard at making a series of important decisions about the various prizes and awards that we're going to be bestowing this afternoon. So once more, please join me in a round of applause to recognize the extraordinarily hard work of Professor Smith and her committee. And lot of time and effort have been invested in this event. Printing the certificate, writing the checks, very important, and making all the other arrangements. Please join me in thanking once again Jim Bach and Steve McCann for their work in arranging this celebration. Finally, we are at the meat of this event. At this time, Professor Hathaway will give us some remarks on the accomplishments of our graduate students this year, and after that she will announce the awards and the prizes. So, Professor Hathaway.
Don't forget the checks.
There's theoretical.
We're still sort of coordinating here. Professor Smith has asked me to announce the awardees because she foolishly believes that I have never ever pronounced the names, except for the Bradley Awards, which will be announced by Professor Pete Mansour. Before I get started, I just want to second Professor Rosenstein's thanks to Jim Bach. If you can raise your hand again. Without whom my life, and I'm sure the lives of most of the people in this room, would be far more difficult. I'd also like to thank all the graduate students for all your work this year, and for cheerfully cooperating with my demands, including the demand to submit your annual review, and to all of you who served as small section leaders, discussion section leaders, and or graders. This is not easy work, especially when you're trying to take a full load of courses, write your dissertation, or whatever it may be. And to congratulate everyone who defended a dissertation or an MA paper or thesis this year. Before I get to the awards listed on your program, I just want to make a special mention of this year's 3 presidential fellows from the history department. This is the most prestigious fellowship, internal fellowship, that Ohio State bestows. It's a final year dissertation writing fellowship. Competition is university-wide, and it is extremely intense. So we were very fortunate this year to have 3 winners, 1 in fall, 2 just announced at the end of April. So our winner in the fall was Hideaki Kami, who is in diplomatic history, and our 2 just announced winners are, I want to make sure I get them in alphabetical order, Aisha Baltajolu Grammar in Islamic history, and Ian Johnson in Soviet history. So I don't think any of those 3 people is here actually, but they deserve a round of applause anyway. Okay, so now for the rest of the awards, and I guess Nate, you're handing out. Okay, great. The Adıvar Fellowship in Ottoman and Turkish history this year goes to Doğa Öztürk, who I think is taking his generals as we speak.
Well, you would know.
So Nate will be accepting the award for him. We have 3 awardees for the Robert Bremner Award: Timothy Leach, Paul Niebrzyzowski, I'm sure I'm butchering that name, and Wendy Solz. Fairly new award, last year I believe, the Diversity Travel Grant. This year goes to Marcus Nevius and Reina Esquivel King. The Andreas Storpalen Award to Nicole Freeman. The Foster Ray Dulles Award goes to Aaron George. special foster ray flannel jacket. The Sidney Fisher Memorial Award, 2 awardees, Mohammed Abdu and Noah Öztürk, either from this year. Okay, so moving right along. The Genevieve Brown Guest Dissertation Research Award in Women's History, there are 2 awardees, Keisha Lai, and Gulshad Torunolu, who is in Cairo, I believe. The Ruth Higgins Award, there are 3 awardees, Aisha Baltajolu Brammer, who just left for Turkey, Issachar Bolaños, who is also out of the country, or at least out of the state, and Patrick Sharp, who I believe is actually here. The History Faculty Scholarship, there are 2 awardees, Issachar Bolaños, who, as we've already seen, is not here, and Jonathan Dries, who is here. The Lieutenant Colonel Sean M. Judge Award goes to Frank McGuff. The Helen and Harold Kapeloff Research Award goes to Hideaki Kami, who, as we've seen, is not here. So Nate will get to keep up to 3 certificates for him.
And the checks.
And the checks, yes.
Good thing for me, have you here.
I don't know. I have no idea. Check one check. The Holly and Brad Caston Award goes to John Perry. And 5 awardees for the Kaufman Family Award in American History: Will Chu, Zach Fry, Tim Leach, Richard Marsh, and Scott Ward.
Come on, Rosenstein, get a grip.
He's a Roman. Oh my goodness.
You can cancel the checks before they get to the bank.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah, just pretend.
Will, I think I had Scott, we look so alike. We look so alike.
Now it seems like one of those afternoon soap Okay, but seriously, the late Joseph H. Lynch Award, and it's true, we do miss Joe Lynch quite a bit, but the award named after him goes to Kyle Shimoda. The Philip Poirier Award to Jim Harris. The Elaine S. and John C. Rule Award, named in part after another much missed former colleague, to Danny Anthony and Lauren Henry. Yeah, check those The Henry H. Sims Award to Marcus Nevius or Nevius, I've never been sure how to pronounce it. Nevius. He's not here in any case. Wow, and 10 award winners of History Summer Research Awards in alphabetical order, and please come up if you're here, don't come up if you're not here. Mohammed Abdu, Amy Archer, Joel Dowling Soka, Jonathan Dries, Raina Esquivel King, Ian Johnson, Frank McGuff, Doa Öztürk, Pete Vanderquee, and Felgi Salam Yurga.
better or worse?
It's much the latter.
Worse.
Here. And the RTAP Summer Research Awards, 4 awardees: Sarah Halpern, Saban Nasseri, Frank McGuff, and John Perry. And before I turn the floor over to Professor Mansour, I just want to announce a teaching award that is not in your program but was recently announced, the Clio Award for Outstanding Teaching in History to Catalina Hunt, who just defended as well. And now here is Professor Mansour for the Bradley Awards.
It's my distinct pleasure on behalf of the Lindy and Harry Bradley Foundation out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to announce the 2015-2016 Bradley Foundation Fellows. They're an outstanding group of scholars. It was a very difficult cut, but on behalf of my fellow committee members, Joe Gilmartin, Jenny Siegel, and Jeffrey Parker, we congratulate those who will receive, in some cases, substantial funding from the Bradley Foundation in furtherance of their research in military history, writ very large. Danielle Anthony. Will Chu. Daniel Curzon. Jonathan Dries. Zach Fry. Joel Higley. Greg Hope, I think, is getting his household goods packed en route to West Point. Ian Johnson. Hideaki Kami. Frank McGuff. Paul Nieberdowski. I get a cookie for pronouncing it right. John Perry. Julie Powell. James Villanueva. Mason Watson. And Corbin Williamson.
All right. Congratulations to awardees, one and all. We're ending another academic year. Commencement will occur very soon. And so I'd like to extend, on behalf of the department and all my colleagues, our sincerest congratulations to those of you who have completed your degrees and will matriculate out into the broader world. Also each spring, it's customary to announce the retirements and departures of colleagues who will be leaving us at the conclusion of this academic year. We see 2 retirements this year, Professor Robert Davis and Professor Carter Finley, 2 luminaries of the department whose presence will be sorely missed. We also are saying farewell to 2 other colleagues, Stephen Kahn and Judy Wu, who are leaving us for pastures, certainly not greener, but pastures certainly elsewhere in the country. As you know, whenever we lose something, we also often gain as well. And this is certainly the case. We are going to welcome this fall 3 new colleagues to our faculty. Andrew Caton, who joins us as the Warner Woodring Chair in Early American History. Elizabeth Bond, who is a historian of early modern France. And Bert Harold, who saw the wisdom of departing the classics department and coming over to history. He is a scholar of religion in the ancient world, and particularly early Christianity. So, for those of you who will return to us in the fall, a larger and even more distinguished department, if that is possible, will await you. I doubt that, but a differently distinguished department. So congratulations to those of you who were announced, whose awards were announced this fall. Best wishes to all of you for a happy summer of hard work, much writing, safe travels, and happy hunting in the archives. Thank you. There's plenty of